We're on the road with Mickey, we're gonna have some fun. Regardless of the rain or sun, our trip has just begun. So buckle up, let's go, we're about to start the show. And maybe if you like us, you'll see where else we'll go.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike, and she's Sophie,
And she's Brenda.
Hi, everyone.
and he's Grogu, and we're on the road with Mickey. This is episode 129 for July 11th, 2022, and our feature topic this week is our look back at Sophie's 21st birthday trip. It's our recap. We were all blessed to be there, and we're all going to give our own perspectives, and we're going to do like the top 5 things from our trip that we really enjoyed the most. And so it might end up being a kind of the same thing that the top 5 things we were looking forward to. It might have been those same 5 things, or there might have been something that came out of the woodwork that we didn't even expect. So, anyway, that is our feature topic. But of course, today we are going to start with our cheddar from the big cheese. And I'm going to start us off. Um, we only have a couple items today. The news has been a little quiet. Shh. So, anyway, over at, as we all know, the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival is running this year from July 14th to November 19th. And along with it, the Eat to the Beat concert series will run from July 14th through November 14th, 2022. Each night will feature 3 performances at the American Gardens Theater, a 5:30 p.m., a 6:45, and an 8 p.m. show. And I'm going to share a link in the notes to the Disney page that will show the complete list of performers and their dates of performance so you can check it out. But there's a whole long list, obviously, when you're looking at what 4 months worth of performances. There's a long list. So
Yeah.
go check out the page. The link will be in the show notes, and you'll be able to check it out and see who's going to be there and see if you need to plan a trip around that. And if you do, reach out to Brenda. She's at Brenda at pixievacations.com, or me. I'm Mike at pixievacations.com, and we'd be happy to help you plan that trip.
Yay.
Yep.
All
Some good
All
right.
right.
performers in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Okay,
are.
then I guess it's my turn now. And we have talked about this before. We've talked about the retheming of Splash Mountain at Disneyland and Disney World, but we did not have a lot of information about it. We only had a possible date of when it would close. But recently it has been announced that the ride will become Tiana's Bayou Adventure. That's the official name for it, and will
Mhm.
come to both Walt Disney World and Disneyland in late 2024.
Yeah. So that is a big time excitement thing for me. I was like, why are they changing Splash Mountain? Why are they always changing the rides we love? But when I look at it and I think about it, it really it kind of intrigues me, you know? So I'm looking forward to it and I want to see and I can visualize in my head that we are Naveen and Tiana, and we're frogs, and we're going on a raft, and we're going to find Mama Odie. And I
Yep.
can just imagine it, you know? So
And when we
we'll
get
see.
off the ride, we're going to go in the gift shop and they're going to have beignets there because they're going to have a new beignet stand.
Is that
I predict
official?
it.
You're
No,
predicting. Okay.
Ooh.
no,
I
I'm
would
wishing
love
for
it.
it.
Oh, gosh, that would be
I'm
awesome.
wishing for it. I mean, they can do
Don't
funnel
get
cakes. They can do beignets out there. Look at
Yeah.
New Orleans Square in Disneyland. They got
they
beignets.
can. But
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
get my hopes up like that, Aunt Brenda. I
I'm
thought it
sorry.
was for real.
No, I'm dreaming. It's Disney dreaming.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we do
And that
here.
is
That's
We're
perfectly
it.
Disney
fair.
dreamers.
Yep. Disney
And
dreaming.
last thing I want to touch on, we have some really cool on the road with Mickey magnets. These are like 3-inch by 3-inch magnets,
Mhm.
and I have a collection of them. I have a limited number, but if anyone is interested in a free On the Road with Mickey magnet, let me know. Send me an email to info@ontheroadwithmickey.com with your name and mailing address, and I'll mail you one out. We're only limiting
Sweet.
it since we have limited numbers. It's only one per family, and it is until supplies run out. So if you're interested in
Nice.
one, shoot me an email. Again, that's info@ontheroadwithmickey.com, and send me your name and address, and we'll mail you one out.
Mhm.
Thanks, everybody. And now
Thanks.
it is time to move on to our feature topic. And we
Yep.
are looking at our trip recap. So, since Sophie celebrated the huge birthday, Sophie is going first.
All right. Well, I'm just going to hit the ground running and I'm going to talk about the things that I enjoyed the most from the trip first.
Okay.
And the biggest thing that I enjoyed from the trip was having all of these people together in one place so that we could ride the People Mover together. That was my favorite part. I know we kind of got rained out for a bit there, but we made it. And most importantly, nobody got lost.
And it's
Right.
fun. It's fun to do it like that. I mean, torrential downpours cannot stop the party, honey.
No, they can't.
Absolutely.
No
And
way.
just for people that weren't aware, um, we actually had 21 people show up to ride the People Mover. And bless his heart, the cast member said, "How many people you got?" And I said, "We got 21." I thought his head was going to explode. I
Yeah,
thought he
I
was
felt
like, "Oh
so
my
bad
gosh."
for him.
And we were like, "Hey, it's okay. Done this a time or two. We can figure out who's going to sit with whom." And
Yeah.
we all made it work. And it was
Yeah.
awesome.
And thank God Chrissy was recording because when most everyone was already on the TTA, I'm like, oh my gosh, is anybody recording this? And Chrissy says, I got you, girl.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I took like maybe 2 pictures and that was it. And
I
I was
just
done.
I just
I let
forgot. I was
you
so
know that
excited I forgot.
River just got on the couch, but I was like, you know that I live in the moment.
Yes, you do live in the moment. Absolutely. All right. Well, that's a good start. So that was
Yeah.
a top highlight for Sophie.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a top highlight for all of us.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
absolutely.
All right, Brenda, you're going next.
Well, I mean, my time with my girls is all it's going to be at the top of my list. I mean, as long as I'm alive, that'll be at the top of my list because I love them so much and I miss being able to be with them all the time. So, like being at the pool and playing volleyball with them in the water and lazy rivering and doing the slide and just
Yeah.
having them around 24 hours a day for that many days just was the highlight of that week
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
love being with them.
Your
Totally.
girls are absolute angels, Aunt
Thank
Brenda.
you. They loved you to death, Sophie. Goodness, they took to you quick, didn't they? It took them like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, they're actually also on my list, but I'll let Daddy go next.
Thank you. you know, I get it. I get what you're saying, Sophie. That just like Brenda said, that was a highlight for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely would have made my list um, had you not said it. And Brenda, I get it. Your time with your girls ranks up there, just like you know my time with Cindy and Sophie, and with my mom and my sister and my niece and her girls. That's and Brenda and Randy and Jagan. Family. It's all about family.
It
You know,
is.
And
and
Sheila, don't
and
forget
that
Sheila. She'll get you.
I said Brenda, didn't I? I meant Sheila and Randy and Jagan. Sorry, Sheila.
Don't worry, Daddy. I'll keep you safe. I'll protect you
But
from the angry ladies.
yeah, but the time spent with family,
Totally.
that is that's that's why we go.
Hmm.
Yep,
Memories made with family.
that's right. Memories that can never be replaced.
Right. you
That's right.
know? So absolutely that's kind of a recap, a kind of a continuation of Brenda's, but yeah, it's definitely right up there. Right
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
So all
Awesome.
right.
All
So
right.
Sophie, number 2 on your list.
Number two. Number two. You know something, Daddy?
What, baby?
I had such high expectations for this trip, and I will admit that it was not the perfect trip that I had envisioned it, but that does not mean it wasn't a good one. And so I think probably another part that I really enjoyed about the trip was the part where we just improvised. It was left up to chance. It did not feel completely stressed out and rushed. And we just sort of took our time with it and enjoyed it in the moment. And
So
I think,
being in the moment.
yes, being in the moment. And I think the one where that came into play the most had to be Epcot because we did have that reservation for Cosmic Rewind and it didn't fall through, but that did not mean that we didn't have fun on that day.
Right.
And I also really liked Epcot because it was my 21st birthday and it was a rite of passage for me, but the time that I enjoyed the most about Epcot was probably when I was there on my own waiting for waiting to meet up with one party or another. Because it gave me time to be there by myself and see what it would have been like if I had done it a solo trip, which I'm glad
Mhm.
I didn't, but I still want to do that in the future.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Doing a solo
For
trip in the
sure.
future would be
Yeah.
cool. And that would be neat to hear about it from your perspective,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know? So, so
So in
just
terms of putting it down on the list, I don't know what I would call it. I guess just yeah, being in the moment.
Yep.
being in the moment, not not having it planned out to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Even when
Yeah.
it's planned out to the nth degree, things do happen. Rain happens,
Mhm.
Yep.
tiredness happens, heat happens in summer.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I needed to get reminded of because I had this planned down to the T and it didn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, but
Sometimes
it
you just gotta groove and, regroup.
zig zig when you're zagging, when others
Yeah.
are zagging. So,
Yep. And it
got it.
worked.
And it
It
worked
worked.
well. Worked really well,
Yeah.
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
So, Brenda, what's next on yours?
Well, back to my girls.
Her time with her girls, number
There
2.
were there were two things that um I didn't I didn't expect so much. Um that surprised me but made me very happy.
Mhm.
One was McKinley's bright aliveness that she gets from seeing the characters because she's 8 now and she doesn't wear princess dresses anymore and so forth. I thought that it wasn't going to be like that. And she
Mm.
loved meeting those characters just like when she was 3, 4. She loved
Mhm.
it. She met Mary
Oh.
Poppins, she met Daisy, she met Elsa and Anna and Cinderella and Elena and Olaf and Mickey and Minnie. And she lights up like a light bulb, especially when she meets Belle, who she hasn't gotten to see in a couple of years. And it was just it was so wonderful. And then Aaliyah, for the first time ever, got to be old enough to where she and McKinley could ride in the row of the ride, just them two. Like, instead of one of them having to be with one of us and the other having to be with one of us, they got to ride just together because Aaliyah's now 10. So every time we were in a ride, that a thrill ride, they got to ride just the two of them together. And they said, "How old are you?" And she goes, 10. I mean, she was just so proud.
Oh,
And I never even thought this was going to happen at all. And it was it was such a wonderful surprise, and a great time growing up Disney, realizing I'm growing up. I can ride with my sister, just the two of us. It was just so wonderful to discover that. It was really a highlight for me.
Yep.
yeah.
Isn't it awesome when that happens, Brenda?
Yep, yep, yep. Because I
Yeah.
want to keep them little. I mean, I want to keep them little, of course. I know how fast kids grow up. But the fact that McKinley is still into the character meet and greets thrilled me to death. I couldn't wait to buy that. See, I hadn't bought her an autograph book ahead of time because I thought she wasn't going to be into it this year. Man,
Hmm.
we got to that gift shop so fast.
Oh boy.
I hear you. Oh
So that
gosh.
was that was my, second best highlight, I guess. I don't know
Yeah.
that these are in really a specific order, but
Right. I'm just putting them down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you're right. It's not necessarily a specific order. Um or maybe there are, but anyway. For me,
Mhm.
I gotta say, Brenda,
yeah.
Sophie and I, and Cindy too, we loved the recommendation at staying at the yacht club.
Yay!
Oh
Oh
I'm
my
yes.
so
gosh.
That
glad.
Yacht
was an
club.
amazing resort.
Oh, so
It
good.
really is, though. How, especially the convenience, right? To
Oh
Epcot.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
I mean, just like I'm gonna gotta share a
Oh,
picture. Um, we get to our room, right?
yeah.
I got my phone out and I'm taking pictures, pictures, pictures. I'm like, check out this balcony. And we open the door and the girls come out on the balcony. And as soon as they come out on the balcony, boom, the fireworks for Harmonia start going off. It's
That
almost
is
like this said,
fantastic.
okay, the Ellises are here. Start the
Yeah,
Yep.
fire.
that's
Yep.
right. That's right. It's time.
And, and
I
I mean,
loved
that
that.
picture of them with the fire is up there on one of my top pictures ever, you
Yeah.
know? So,
I got some of the girls from behind watching, and I like those kind of behind pictures
yeah,
too. Those
yeah,
are just the best memories ever.
yeah,
You'll never forget that that's how that happened. I love that.
yeah. So, I am so glad that we stayed at the yacht club. Uh, it was a great stay. The
Yay. I'm so
resort was
glad.
absolutely incredible.
Love the yacht club.
And that was our
Mhm.
first time.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So,
It was great being at the same place.
it was. It
It
was.
was.
We got
So,
to hang out with Sophie. So next
yep.
time.
Aww. Love you, Aunt Brenda.
I love you right back.
Well,
Number
speaking
3, Sophie.
my three, speaking of Aunt Brenda and her girls, we've already established that Aaliyah and McKinley took to be like a fish to water,
That's for sure.
and I want it to be known that I just think they are the sweetest, most adorable little girls from Texas.
Thank you.
Yes, they are so sweet, and I enjoyed my time with them. They were literally perfect angels.
You are so sweet.
Yeah.
Yes. And if we were in closer proximity and their parents ever needed me to babysit them, I would do it for free.
Oh, you are so sweet. They loved being with you, especially when y'all just went to
Yes.
lunch, just the three of y'all. That
Mm-hmm.
was so special for them.
Well, of
Because I
course.
mean, I normally wouldn't allow them to go somewhere I couldn't see them because I'm super paranoid about everything. But I knew they were in great hands, and it was really good for them
Mm-hmm.
to be able to share
We
some time with you, just the three of you.
Yep, we had this system where they would walk beside me, and then when we got into a crowd, one of them would hold one hand, the other would hold the other. That way we wouldn't get lost from each other.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So sweet. I
And
wish I had
remind me,
gotten a picture
Sophie,
of that time.
where did y'all go for your for lunch together?
Okay, so we were walking out of Pandora. You were off with Aunt Robin and Stephanie and the girls watching the Festival of the Lion King at that point, and
Mhm.
we decided we were all hungry. Well, the Aaliyah and McKinley, they looked at the menu for Flame Tree and they decided they didn't want anything from there. And we looked at the menu for Pizza Safari and we all agreed that because there were so many tomatoes that Aunt Brenda could not eat there safely. So I said, I'll buy the girls lunch. You and Uncle Butch, you go on to Flame Tree and we'll meet you after we're done. So after that, they went off. Aaliyah and McKinley stayed with us. We had lunch. Uh, McKinley had a cheese pizza with me, and Aaliyah had a pepperoni. They
Yeah.
both got Diet Coke. I spared them no expense. And all in all, it was great.
There you go.
That was
And they
so
were so
sweet.
helpful too because that place was packed and they managed to find us a table inside.
Oh,
There you go.
nice.
Yeah,
There you
they were
go.
so helpful.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Hmm. And it
It meant so
actually
much to them.
prompted me to finally set up my mobile order on my phone because I
Yeah, that's good.
I was not able to do that and we had to wait in line for the cash register, but it
Oh,
worked out
yeah.
better because if we had done mobile order, then we would have had to wait, but when but instead we went right up to the cash register after waiting in the line and they got us our food right away. So I actually think I prefer going up to the register and ordering instead of the mobile online ordering.
Well, I do too. Um, Sometimes the convenience of doing
Yes.
mobile order is nice.
Yeah.
But there is a trade-off if you do a mobile order. You miss so much human interaction. You know,
Yeah.
if we had mobile ordered for Connections Eatery, and I'm going to
Yes.
be talking about that for months probably. But if we had mobile ordered for our dinner at Connections Eatery, we never would have met Abby. That whole interaction with Lindsay and her and Robin wouldn't have happened, and that just wouldn't have been as much a point of such a great memory from that trip as it was if we had mobile ordered. So yeah, there's time and place for everything. And you're right, Sophie. It is neat to be able to do it, but
Yeah.
I also agree that if it works out and it's not super busy, then doing a just walking up to the register, because then you get that
Yeah.
interaction,
Well, and
you know.
sometimes timing even calls for that because you like when we went to Connections Eatery, if it was say 1 o'clock, I if you went to mobile order, the soonest time you could choose was 1:20 to 1:50 or something. Well, we could
Mhm.
stand in the line and order at the
And be
register
done before then.
before. Yeah, so
Yeah.
sometimes timing, but if you're at the other side of the park and you're on your way somewhere and you can go ahead and order it and then that's convenient. But sometimes
Yeah.
if you're right there, just do your thing.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. So it's neat that you have the options. I do like that you have the options. Um,
Mhm.
but you're
Yeah.
right. So good. That's
Point
cool,
That
is,
was
Sophie.
such a great memory.
You
mhm.
and McKinley and Aaliyah and having
Yeah,
lunch together.
yeah,
Yeah. And
nice.
they were very good. They were so
Thank
good. I'm
you.
very happy that I spent the time with them.
Thank
And then
Sophie,
when we
you.
got to the flame tree, you guys were sitting right next to the water and we were able to watch the kite show.
Yep.
there you go.
Anyway, you were saying, Daddy?
I was going to say Sophie the Pied Piper.
Hey, they loved it. That was a wonderful
I
memory for
mean,
them.
you know what? That is an awesome memory for them because
Hmm.
they were big girls. They
Yes,
were having a a big girl lunch out with their friend.
that's right.
Yeah.
They weren't
That's right.
having to stick with Mimi and Poppy.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
right.
They were able to go and do their first solo sort of stuff at Disney
That's
with
right.
Sophie. So
That's
yeah,
right.
Yep.
absolutely, you made their day, Sophie.
I'm telling you.
Of course.
So awesome, good stuff.
Yay! What's next
All
for me?
right,
Oh, well,
number 3, Brenda.
Okay, well, this one, I put a few together. They have to do with food.
Uh huh.
Um,
Mhm.
I loved doing the bread pudding challenge. I loved doing the bread pudding challenge because it was like for years I've been a bread pudding lover and Sophie is a bread pudding lover. So it's like
Oh,
getting
yes.
her to try these what I considered like the two best bread puddings at Disney and like getting her input in it was really fun. And when I used to lead the youth group here years ago, we used to do like scavenger hunts around the city where we would go and they'd have to take a picture with this or that. But this bread pudding challenge was almost kind of like that. Even though we weren't going a billion places, we went to the one and did the whole
Uh huh.
thing and then went to and like we know the results, right?
Mhm.
But it was just the experience of it was fun. Just really fun for me, aside from being delicious. But
Yeah.
also another food thing that stands out a billion times for me is when we went to Liberty Tree Tavern. When we went to Liberty Tree Tavern, there ended up being 13 of us. So there were two tables, one set for 7 and one set for 6. And when we went to sit down, Cindy chose to sit with us rather than sitting with Mike and Sheila and everybody.
Yeah.
And I tell you, I could not be happier with the fact that she did that. I mean, I've spent a lot of time with you, Mike, like, not only the podcast, but like when we're on Pixie
Yeah.
trips and things, and I've had a lot of time with you,
Hmm.
but I haven't had nearly enough time
No.
with Cindy. I mean,
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
so happy she sat with us and that I got that time with her. It just meant everything to me.
Yeah.
Just what a wonderful gift. So thank you,
She
Cindy, for
certainly
sitting with
is.
us. Yep. I was
Yeah.
so thankful to have that time with her.
I think
Yeah.
she was glad to get away from us, Daddy.
You know, it's always about me, of course. So she was happy to get away from me for a change.
All about you. I'm sorry. Which parent do I take after more?
Yeah.
You. I am your mini
Oh,
me and you know it.
yes, I do know that. But yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
but
I
those are a
was
couple
like,
of great memories around food for
it was
sure.
so funny though. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, honey, aren't you gonna sit next to me? No, I'm
Nope,
gonna
she
sit with
sat
my
next to
Texas.
me.
I'm gonna sit with my Texas family. I'm
That's
like,
right.
okay.
Oh.
That's right. And I was
As
so
I
happy to
wipe
have
my
her. I
eyes.
can't even tell you. Yep. Not a dry eye in the place, I tell you. I was
Oh.
so happy she did that because I just haven't had enough time with her.
Yeah.
She is worth getting to know for
That is for
certain.
sure. That is for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, for me, my number 3 choice is just number 3. It's not any specific order.
Mhm.
Um, you know,
Hold it together.
I am holding it together. I'm trying to think real quick of what I was going to say. um, it was cool. I didn't like Cindy having to leave, but
Me
life is
neither.
what
Yeah.
life is, you know? But it was also, in addition, despite that, it was cool that um, that on Wednesday, day before we left,
Mhm.
that it was just Sophie and I and going to Hollywood Studios. You know, that was
Yeah.
cool. you know. And Cindy would have been great if Cindy were there also because she loves Rise of the Resistance, you know.
Absolutely.
But but it was neat that we were able to go, and it was kind of cool. It was just Sophie and I. It was like time that most of the time our time is also with Cindy, and Cindy and I most of the time our time is also with Sophie, you know.
Yeah.
So so
Yep.
it was neat that
It
it
was daddy
was
daughter time.
Mhm.
yeah.
That's
Um
important.
it is, and you know, we got cinnamon rolls at the
Nice.
marketplace next to Joffrey's back in Pixar area,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and and those cinnamon rolls, Sophie and I were like, "Oh my gosh,
Mm.
this is so good."
It was very good.
Cuz they
So,
serve them hot.
yeah, the
They were
hunger is the
nice
best
and
seasoning.
warm. Yeah, they were nice and warm, and we were like, "Oh my."
This
Mhm.
is worth the trip, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, but having that time, just Sophie and I at Hollywood Studios was kind of cool. It was really cool, in fact.
Yeah.
So
It was very cool, and I'm glad we had it. That was actually going to be what I talked about next.
It still can be.
it
Yeah,
can be, yeah,
because two perspectives here. I really, really liked it, Daddy. And not to say that I don't like when Mommy is there with us, but at the same time, I think when it comes to Disney, Mommy versus Daddy, they both have separate energies, and I find that I match with Daddy's more.
hmm yeah,
So, yes, I
So it was
did
an
miss.
easygoing day.
Yes, it was. And it was a fun day, too. So, while I did miss Mommy being there, I'm glad I got to spend the time with you on our own, Daddy, because
yeah,
we like so much of the same things.
yeah. And you know, that day was the day we did Oga's Cantina,
Hmm.
It was.
and I gotta pull up my picture for it.
I never heard of what y'all got.
I'll
Oh,
pull up the
we
receipt.
we got Olga's obsession.
Did you? Did you
Uh
like
huh.
it? Isn't it
I ended
interesting?
I ended up
I
eating
liked it.
most of it.
We
It's
ate about I ate
interesting.
about we split it almost half and half.
Yeah,
Um,
it
it's
was
funny
good.
because
It is.
we got the sampler. Do you remember what it's called? The Hapabor
Hapabor sampler.
Hapabor sampler,
I
and
think of it
then
like half a bore.
yeah, and Sophie got the carbon freeze, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Yep.
And I got the hyperdrive
Yep.
drink.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we also ordered an Oga's Obsession. And the funny thing is, and I took a picture of the receipt because I thought it was so funny. You know,
Uh,
on the menu it says Hopabor sampler, but
Mm-hmm.
when they bring you the receipt to pay your bill, it simply says Brenda charcuterie board.
oh, that's hilarious.
It
That's
was so
exactly what it
funny.
was.
That is
It was so
hilarious.
funny. It was hysterical. But
Oh my
what
God,
was
that's
neat
funny.
was we asked to have us have a seated location at
Mm-hmm.
Otis, and
Uh-huh.
90% of the restaurant is standing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they said, "Yeah, we'll put you in for a seated table. You can sit at a table, um, but it usually takes a little bit longer." But you know what? It actually wasn't that long at all. We Our reservation was 1:15, and I think we got called to go sit right at 1:15. So
That's
it didn't really
fantastic.
take any longer at all.
That's
And
great.
the funny thing was there was another family at the table where they sat us. And so it's one of these big tables that seats like 8. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so there were 6 there already, and when we placed our order and they brought it, they had already placed their order and gotten their food, but they saw our Oga's Obsession, and they were
Yeah.
like, they're like, "What in the world is that?" And I said, "It's called Oga's Obsession, and
And it's in a
and
petri dish.
it's in this dish, and it's basically like Jello with grape, you know,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It
it's
and
got
had
little
these
pop
and it
pop
had
rocks and
the
cotton
sugar,
candy.
and it had the
And,
pop rocks and all the stuff." And
yeah,
I said, "You know what? It's really good." And Sophie and I liked it.
I
Mm-hmm.
love it.
And they were like, and when the waitress or waiter came back over, they're like, we didn't see this on the menu before. We'd like to try one. And they ordered one too, and they split it, and it was just enough.
Yeah,
It's not a huge thing, but it's enough that all six of them were able to enjoy it, you
Yeah.
know?
yeah.
And actually, when you look at it, the pricing for it on the things weren't bad. Like the Oga's
No.
Obsession is 750. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
that expensive. The drinks were 750 and 650. The biggest expense was the Hapabor sampler, and that was $21.
That dang
So
Mm-hmm.
charcuterie board.
that they listed charcuterie board, yes, which was hysterical to me.
That is
But
hilarious. Yeah, I
yeah,
love it.
it
I've never
was
gotten
good.
anything else there because with the first time I ever visited, I couldn't have alcohol, so I got
Yeah. And
Oga's
the drinks
Obsession,
we
and
got
that's all I've
were
ever gotten.
non-alcoholic. So the drinks we got were non-alcoholic. Let me
When it
share.
said like Pop Rocks and cotton candy, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share some pictures. I'm just going to scroll through a little bit on my photos here.
Nice.
You
Oh,
see it?
yeah. Uh-huh.
That's a great photo.
And it's just the environment was really, really cool,
Yeah.
It
And
makes you
there's
want to
Sophie.
forget about the heat and go full on Star Wars cosplay and
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge, because I would totally do that if I was not worried about heat exhaustion. But
Yeah.
I saw some people doing it. We were sitting outside and I saw people walking by in Star Wars attire, and I was like, how are you guys not dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they have a tablet with them? Because they may
No.
have been a Star Cruiser guests. Because they do go into Galaxy's Edge at certain points
Oh,
during the
you're
game.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they
I didn't
might
see
have
one.
been an they might have been a guest from the park, but I don't think they were cast members.
This one is Sophie's drink. This is
Yes,
the
that's
Cosmic
mine.
Freeze.
Was it
And it
Cardinal
good?
had,
freeze. It was very good. It was non-alcoholic and it had green apple popping pearls in it. That's a huge
Nice.
thing at Oga's Cantina, the popping pearls.
For sure.
And I really like the popping pearls, just saying. They are
Me
very
too.
yummy.
Yeah.
yeah. And then I had the other one,
Ooh,
and
that
it was
looks
like
neat.
it was good. It was like a some sort of grape something or other that kind of trickled down into your drink,
Hmm.
you know?
Is
And it
that
was
bluish down there? Like a curacao
uh-huh.
was in there? It was
Yeah,
non-alcoholic though, right?
it was
Yeah.
non-alcoholic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks interesting.
It was good. It was cold and it was flavorful. It was really good. And then and here's them together. So,
Hmm.
but you see the popping
Hey.
pearls, the different kinds in Sophie's drink.
Yeah, those are awesome.
And then there's our Oga's Obsession.
Yep.
Yep.
That was so.
It seems like mine has been more blue, but it might just be the lighting
And
because
then
I've always been at the bar.
that's the Hopabor sampler.
There you go.
And
Was
so
that good?
basically meats and cheeses and leeks and stuff like that. So if you like the leeks, and then they had um basically pork rinds. And we were like, we
Neither
each
of
had one.
us.
We each had one, and we were like, thanks, but
Not so
no
much.
thanks. But it wasn't bad. It was worth trying. I don't know if we need to get it again next time. But
No.
um, and then last but not least, a little selfie.
Oh, nice. I love
Hmm.
that. That's sweet.
So
That's very
anyway,
sweet.
it was interesting. I think Sophie and I both agree that it was neat to do it.
Yes.
It's not something we need to do every time, but
Hmm.
if we have a family member or someone who hasn't been before,
Yeah.
then it's worth making a reservation for them to experience it.
Yes, I
know,
agree totally. Yeah,
but
that's a
it's
great
not like
idea.
something I need to see every year we go. We don't need to make a reservation.
Right.
So, but it was fun. It was
Hmm.
fun. So I'm glad we
That's
did it.
great.
I'm glad
Yay.
we did it. So, and you know what? I'm just going to call that my number 4 was Oga's Cantina.
Great.
That is a good one.
So I skipped a jump line.
You skip me.
Oh,
I
I'm
skipped
sorry.
Sophie too.
Well,
Cause
no, I
oh
have
okay
my
yeah
number
also
4.
time yeah
Aunt Brenda, your turn. Let's
your
go.
turn Brenda.
Well, you know, my number 4 is kind of several together too. Again, it was basically like meeting friends for the first time.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So, meeting Billy and Chrissy and Chris and all the family and my friend Cassie, who has been booking trips with me for 8 years, meeting her for the first time in person and her daughter Sophia, which was awesome. It reminds me of just Disney. Disney is so much about the people.
Yeah.
It is everything about our love for Disney is about the people and the interactions and Disney family. So it was like so wonderful. That was such a special memory. I loved meeting them all. Thank you, Cassie, too, for breakfast and for my Disney at home table runner. It's wonderful. Thank you so much. But just meeting them and getting to spend time with them. Finally, when you have like, you see people, but you don't get to actually meet them in person for so long.
Right.
And then you get to finally meet them and give them a hug.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Exactly. It is
Yeah.
wonderful. You know. So the meetups at Disney just seem better. For
They do.
whatever
They are
Yeah.
reason,
better for
meeting
sure.
people at Disney just works better.
Yeah. It's the best place.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Well,
Alrighty.
I gave my number 4 was our Ogus Cantina. So number 5, Sophie, this is your last one.
Number 5. I have to say that well, when we were talking about this episode, I came to the point that it only made sense that I would talk about the rite of passage that I underwent during this trip, and that would, of course, be my 21st birthday and my ability to now publicly purchase and consume alcohol. Well, I did enjoy it. Don't make a big deal out of it, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but I just want to say this. Well, actually, it was a very funny story. So, before I was 21, in fact, it was the last time I went to the Flower and Garden Festival. I was 20 at the time. I had gone to this place called the Honey Bistro to buy this drink, and it was a honey peach freeze, and it came in 2 variations. It came in one without alcohol and one with. And I bought one, and they were about to give me the one with the alcohol before they realized, wait, regular. She didn't buy one with alcohol. We have to give her the non-alcoholic version. So it was very close to accidentally breaking the law, but thankfully everything turned out right.
Yes.
And the next time I was at Epcot, I noticed that they still had it from the year before, and I was like, it's only fitting. Let the circle come full loop. Well, I bought the one with alcohol. I was with my Aunt Robin when it happened. I took a sip of it, and I'm about to recreate the face that I made when I sipped it. I was like,
Uh-oh.
it
Uh-oh.
tasted like cough syrup because the alcohol that they have in that drink was blueberry vodka.
Which
It
blueberry
tasted
vodka doesn't sound good to me.
No, it sounded good to me, but clearly it wasn't. So, in the words of Captain Jack Sparrow, hide the rum. Because I decided that I like rum instead. I decided that I like rum. Rum is good. And you will forever know this as the day that you almost caught. Well, you did not catch Captain Jack Sparrow, nor did you catch me. So hide
So
the rum.
so
Hide the rum.
the what was it called at the Honey Peach? What was it called?
It, at the Honey
Honey peach
Bistro
freeze.
Honey Peach Freeze.
with
So
blueberry vodka.
the Honey Peach Freeze regular version without alcohol is better
Is
than the
way
one with.
better.
Okay. Well, now we know.
Good to
Absolutely.
know that.
Inquiring
Yes.
minds
Sure.
want to know. Get the non-alcoholic one there.
That's right.
Yes.
Drink your cough medicine
But
in
in
the room and go and have a non-alcoholic honey peach freeze.
but in terms of Ohana, the pina colada, which is what I had, is very, very yummy. Because
Yeah,
it's
that
basically
one
a pina colada with raspberry rum.
raspberry. That's what it was. Okay,
Yes.
and that was good. I had a sip of that, and it was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So, and you could taste the rum, but it wasn't like
Cough syrup.
overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yep.
all right. So the rite of passage.
Yay.
Yes. The rite of passage. Okay, then.
Oh my goodness, we're down to number 5. Well, for me, this is the last one that I have. It could be anywhere in my list, but it is definitely the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. We loved that ride to the point that it knocked all of our longtime favorites out of first place, and it is now our first place ride. And that includes Tower of Terror, that's been my favorite for ever, and it knocked it out of there. So it's awesome. And people, I'm going to say, if you have motion sickness, and my husband has something where his crystals in his head, you have crystals like in between our ears, and if his get like out of whack, he gets dizzy. He gets like vertigo. So we were not sure if he would do okay on it or not. And thankfully he did, and we're very grateful.
Good.
But I do know other people who have motion sickness issues have had issues with it. So, I mean, sadly, I guess the only way to know if you have an issue with it is to ride it. But thankfully he didn't have an issue, and we rode it twice that day and he had no issue. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And we absolutely loved that ride. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's good. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. You
So
know,
awesome.
we didn't make it. We, like Sophie said, the chain of events just made things to where it didn't work.
Yeah.
But you know what?
But you'll ride it next
That's
time.
we'll ride
It
it next.
always gives you something to look forward to.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So, but I'm so glad that you enjoyed it and the girls enjoyed it and Butch enjoyed it and no one had any
Yeah.
issues from it. So, I'm
Well, and
so
I have to
Yep.
admit too that I'm a Marvel fanatic and I love all things Guardians of the Galaxy. So that plays a part for sure.
yeah.
But just loved it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's cool. That's cool.
So that's my number 5.
Good job. So, my number 5 is very much in tune with the things I was looking forward to. And for me, it's and this is emotional.
I can tell
So
that. Don't start me up, Mike.
I can't help it, honey. But it's about thinking and realizing how many people went out of their way to celebrate Sophie.
Yeah.
You know, we have Sheila, Randy, Jagan flying all the way over from California We have Brenda, Butch, and the girls coming from Texas. We have my mom, my sister coming from Virginia, my niece and her girls coming from Alabama. We have our
Mhm.
friends Chris and Chrissy coming from the Tampa area, and us coming from North Carolina. And all of them came and celebrated Sophie to the nth degree. I mean, Sophie with her crown, her birthday queen sash,
Yeah.
all the presents that Chris and Chrissy gave
Oh
her,
my goodness, yes.
all the
Yeah.
stuff you gave her, Brenda,
I wasn't even
you know,
expecting all of this. I
all of
was just
the different
happy to see
things.
you guys.
It blew me away. The love and just how awesome it was that all of us were able to be there, you know? It
Mhm.
just blew me away. Even the presents that Robin and Steph and them brought, just everything. Everyone went out of their way for you, Sophie. And that
Yeah.
is right there. That's where it's at.
Yep.
So all I did was, pay for a hotel and some park tickets. The
She
rest
had a
was
special cake, didn't she, too, at Sheila's?
she had
Didn't they
a
make
She
a special
did.
she
white cake
had
that was
They didn't
beautiful?
make it. They bought it at this basically upscale Publix. I thought Publix was for the rich people. Nope. They went to this rich people Publix.
and it
It
was a
was
chantilly cake.
a
Chantilly, yes,
raspberry,
yes.
strawberry, blueberry chantilly cake.
Oh, I have a picture of it. Let me show her a
It
picture.
It
was
looked
It
beautiful.
was
so
so good.
pretty.
It was so good. Let me
It
see if
was
I.
That was
amazing.
really sweet. I mean, I didn't have any of it, but I'm sure it was really sweet. But I
Oh
mean, it
my
was a
gosh.
sweet gesture.
It was a sweet gesture. It was sweet, but you know what? It wasn't crazy sweet. It was more
Oh,
about
that
the
is
freshness of
beautiful.
it. You see
Oh,
that?
yes.
Yes, it's
It
gorgeous.
It
was
was a very light
incredible.
cake.
It was
That's
very
where,
light. It wasn't a heavy cake.
That's
yeah, and
very
that's
nice.
the best kind of cake to me. I
Mhm.
love
So it
chantilly
had
cake.
sweetness to it, but not like, oh my gosh, I'm so sweet. I
Puckering
can't
up.
move
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
It was so good. Oh, they
Well,
they
we
went.
all wish you a very, very happy birthday, Sophie. We were all
Yeah.
happy, all of us. I'm sure I speak for
We were
everyone. We
yeah.
we were so happy to be included and to be there.
Thank you.
So that was number 5. So
Nice. Great
All
memories,
right.
great trip. My husband told me the other day, man, we had a great trip because we didn't kill ourselves. We had,
mhm.
we went at a pace. We sometimes you can kill yourself over there.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Yeah, I think we almost killed my grandmother.
It's a lot. That heat is a lot, but it's,
That
you
heat
It
was
got to pace
really
is.
hard.
yourself and
Yeah.
take your time. It's your trip,
Yep.
so do it like you're gonna do it.
Yep.
Mhm.
All
All right
right.
then.
Well, that is our feature topic, people. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed making it. And it's time to move on to this day in Disney history for July 11th. Sophie, take it away.
All right. Well, I have two bits of history, one from 1961 and the other from 1977. And because I don't know which one I'm more excited for, I'm just going to go in chronological order. Starting with July 11th, 1961, the ABC TV series Walt Disney Presents. That's the name of the series. It airs the segments The Title Makers and Nature's Half Acre. In the first half, this is the part that I'm most excited for in this one. In the first half, Walt Disney shows off the title department, where the titles for Disney films are created.
Oh, cool.
That
And
is
it's not
cool.
just talking about like what the Disney films are called, it's talking about the sequences that go into them. In this case, the latest title sequence is for The Parent Trap. I'm not sure if that's as of 1961 or as of present day. But featured are Disney Studio employees Javier Antesio and Bill Justice, and actors Tommy Sands and Annette Funicello, who are
Aw.
shown recording the opening song for The Parent Trap. The second half of this evening's episode is an edited version of Disney's 1951 true life adventure film Nature's Half Acre. That sounds like a
Nice.
cool film to see. I'm curious about that one. But anyway, and then this one is extremely special to me. It's in 1977.
Uh-huh.
The Walt Disney World version of the Main Street Electrical Parade debuts.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Shall I
That's
read
cool.
what's written there?
Yeah.
Only if you want to.
All right, well, created by Bob Janney and project director Ron Mizaker, it features floats and live performers covered in thousands of electronically controlled lights and a synchronized soundtrack triggered by radio control along key areas of the parade route. The Main Street Electrical Parade's underlying theme song is entitled Baroque Hoedown, based on an original version created in 1967 by early synthesizer pioneers Jean-Jacques Perrey and Gershon Kingsling. Originally appearing at Disneyland in 1972, WDW's parade will run through September 1992 when it is replaced with Spectromatic and then return to the park again in May 1999.
And
Very good.
I've seen Spectre Magic and I've seen Main Street Electrical
Me
Parade.
too.
And I like Main Street Electrical Parade better
Yeah.
because it felt to me like Spectre Magic. I like the music of Spectre Magic, but it felt to me like the lights weren't as bright.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel as colorful. So,
Yep.
but anyway, that's cool, Sophie.
Thank
Good
you,
history.
Sophie.
Thank you.
Good history. So
Yeah.
now it's time to stump the Soph. What's a good one, I think.
Oh my goodness, Sophie. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, so this character is a wisecracker.
Mm, a
That's all I
wise
got.
cracker. Wait, what?
No, that's not all I got.
A wise cracker.
Uh-huh. This character and another character, this is kind of crazy, raise a third character. And this character and his other character that raised this third character set out to help their friend.
So it's definitely a father. He is
No,
a
it's not a
wisecracker.
father. It's not a father.
Oh.
They're friends. They meet someone.
Timon.
Oh.
Yes, it's Simone. Good
Yeah.
job.
Very good, Sophie.
Thank
Yep.
you. I needed
hard to
that
find-
little not a father part.
Yeah.
It was hard to find the clues in the words because they all kept giving it away, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Very
wise,
good.
Yeah.
the wisecracking Murky who leads the
Meerkat.
Kahuna Matata lifestyle.
That's right.
So, and he sees that having a lion on his side will help protect him. So he and Pumbaa agree to raise him. And of course he sees Nala come to take away
Yeah.
Simba.
Yeah.
And he sees that happening, but then he decides, you know what? He's still our friend. He needs our help. And they go to help. And
Yep.
so
There you go. Very
there you go.
good. Very good,
Oh,
Sophie.
Thank you.
so good job, Sophie.
Yay.
That one was hard for me to come up with the clues that weren't giveaways.
Giveaways, yeah.
But good job, Sophie.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right. So, Timon from the Lion King. And that takes us to a little bit of Walt.
A little bit of Walt. This quote's a little long, but it's about the park, so it's worth it.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's a book, it's still worth it.
That's the truth. I wanted something live, something that could grow, something I could keep plussing with ideas, you see. The park is that. Not only can I add things, but even the trees will keep growing. The thing will get more beautiful every year. And as I find what the public likes, and when the picture's finished and I put it out, I find out what they like or they don't like, and I have to apply that to some other thing. I can't change that picture. So that's why I wanted that park. Walt
Because he
Disney.
could change it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as we all know, they are never complete. They are always changing in some
That's right.
fashion.
Yeah.
Just
That's right.
take a look at all the construction walls we saw at Epcot,
Yeah.
you know? But,
Major overhaul.
and you know, the other day when we had our quote, I had a quote in the Pixie group about keep moving forward. And from Meet the Robinsons, you know, Walt Disney's quote about we keep moving forward.
Yep.
We're curious and all that. And I'm like, dude, I got to watch Meet the Robinsons. And Sophie and I sat down and watched Meet the Robinsons. And
Did
so
you?
good. I hadn't
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it. I hadn't seen it in a couple of years. And I'm like, oh, I got to watch it. And
Yeah.
it's such a good movie.
Fantastic.
That's Mike going down the rabbit hole off
Yay.
of the topic. Anyway, that, my friends, wraps us up for this week. Next week, we are going to take one last look at our recent trip, and we are going to talk about 3 foods, whether they're, you know, things we drink, things we eat, whatever. 3 food items that as soon as we ate them, we're like, wow, like, oh my gosh, either it was that good or oh my gosh, it was that bad. I don't know, but I'm thinking it was
Yeah.
that good. So 3 things, 3 food items at Disney that just made us go, wow. So that's our feature topic next week.
Yeah.
And we look forward to seeing you. Just a reminder, I'm Mike, she's Sophie, that's Brenda, and he's Grogu. And we will
See
see you on the road.
road.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.